Hey guys, Tiffany with another video, and as you guys saw in the title, this is going to be all about the new Carli Bybel palette. Now, she came out with her original palette some time ago. I don't remember like exact time frame. I remember when the palette, no, what? I remember when this palette first came out, I was not interested in it. I just felt like the colors were colors that I more than likely had already. But the more I saw the palette and the more I saw people use it, I thought it was a really pretty palette. And then when I actually wanted to get my hands on it, like it was always sold out on BH Cosmetics. Ulta finally picked it up in store and it was always sold out in Ulta. So I just kind of washed my hands of it and figured I'd never get a hold of it. And then recently she decided to come out with the Carli Bybel Deluxe Edition palette. Now this palette has 21 eyeshadow colors in it, and it also has 6 highlighter shades. But there's been a lot of talk about it just because of the original palette, 10 of those shades are also in this palette. So even though you're getting 21 eyeshadows, only 11 of the eyeshadows are new. So a lot of people felt like, what was the point of getting this palette if, you know, they already had the original and you were going to get repeat shades? But hey, I didn't have the original, so all of these shades are new to me. It is the palette that I used on my eyes today in conjunction with some other shadows. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys my first impression thoughts on it, show you some swatches and all that other good stuff. So no more talking, let's get started. So first I'll go ahead and start with swatches. I went ahead and just dipped the swatches on my arm. They don't have any names, so it wouldn't make any sense for me to kind of just go down and try to name them out because there aren't any names. But as you can see, there is a really good mixture of shimmer eyeshadows and matte shadows. I do personally think that the shimmer shadows in this palette outdo the matte shadows, but again, you are getting 21 shades, and again, I think it's a really nice variety of shimmer to matte eyeshadows. And then as far as highlighters, you do get a total of 6 highlighters. Again, there is no name to the highlighters, but here is how the 6 highlighters look. You get just some really nice golds, and then she also throws in like a white highlighter and then more of like a purple shift type of highlighter as well. So on the inside of the palette, you do get a really nice size mirror, and then there's a message that says aspire to inspire right here underneath the mirror. And then here are what the colors look like on the inside. Again, you're getting 21 eyeshadows, and then you're also getting 6 highlighters. So I was really interested in this one because y'all know I love highlighters, so I thought it was really cool that you were getting such a nice amount of highlighters. And then when I did see the palette, the colors looked a little darker on the promo pictures based upon when I actually got the palette in hand. As I looked at them up close, I was like, wow, they're a lot lighter than I thought they were. I've watched a couple of videos and I've heard a lot of people describe them as romantic shades. So I mean, yeah, I guess if romantic means a real light, then yeah, these are definitely romantic shades. So as I mentioned to you guys earlier, I did use this palette on my eyes. I used this shade right here as my all over lid or my base shade. I used this shade in the crease. I used this shade in my outer V, and I mixed this color right here along with another color on my lid. And then for highlighter, I decided to use this pinky purple type of highlighter, which is the highlighter that you guys see right here. Definitely something different for me, but if I figured if I was going to do a first impression, I wanted to, you know, show you guys probably the shade that you wouldn't think I would use. So that's why I decided to go with that as my highlighter shade. And then I'm wearing this color right here as my nose highlighter today. Now, I was not able to use this palette alone. I did have to incorporate other colors to make this palette work. I feel like although you are getting, you know, some decent shades in here and you are getting a really nice mixture of both matte and shimmer shades, there's not shades in here, at least for my skin tone, to pull the look together. There's not really like a transitional type of shade. This one is just a little too light for how I like my transition shades to be. And then this one is like a little bit too cool tone. So I didn't find anything in there that I could use as a actual transition shade. And then I also wish that maybe there were some warmer colors in here. Again, just things that would suit me for my liking, my skin tone, and how I like to do my eye looks. I do really like the shimmer shades. As I said, I think the shimmer shades in this palette are like the standout colors. but I'm really not that impressed with the matte shades. And then as far as the highlighters are concerned, I feel like they're okay, but they're not anything to really write about. I almost feel like they're kind of chunky in a sense, like they're not really smooth at all. They're a little bit chunky, so when you apply it, like I really had to like go in and like blend it out because it was kind of just like sitting on my face, so I didn't like that at all. But I know some people will probably say, well, they're BH Cosmetic eyeshadow, so like, you know, you can't really expect like high-end pricing for a BH Cosmetics palette. I definitely don't agree. I have a couple of BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, and the ones that I have I do really like, and I think the quality is really good. I just don't think that this is great. I'm not saying that it's a bad palette. It's definitely not. The colors almost remind me of, is it like the Naked 3? I think, like, you know, when you think of like these type of shades, it just puts me in the mind of one of the Naked palettes, but I want to say it's like the Naked 3, and I didn't reach for that palette a lot either, and I don't really see myself reaching for this. As I said, when I saw the promo pictures, I thought that the shades were a lot darker than what they are, but they're not, and then just like getting them in person, I just really was not that impressed. So overall, I think it's an okay palette. I don't think it's a must-have palette, not for me. I don't think if you have the original palette, which already has the 10 shades in here, that is necessarily something that you want to rush out and get. I think you could spend that money on something else that you want, because I just don't see this being a must-have palette. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice palette. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Well, I mean, I'm honest all the time. I'm probably gonna sell it in a blog sale. I don't see myself reaching for this palette on a consistent basis, and that's even with the highlighters, which again, y'all know I love a good highlighter. I'm all about a good highlighter palette, and even if I felt like the highlighters were worth it, I would keep this palette, but I don't even feel like the highlighters are worth it. I think this is something that's more of maybe like a starter type of eyeshadow palette. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed, but I mean, it's okay. It's not a horrible palette. It's not like the worst palette I've ever picked up. It's just not the greatest, and it's just not something that wows me, and I really wanted to be wowed by this palette. So I know I showed you guys this on my Snapchat. A lot of you asked me what I thought about it, or if I would come and do a video, so there you guys have it. I really like the eye look that I created, but again, it bothered me that I had to pull so many other eyeshadows to get the look to come together, because just using the shadows from this palette, it was not working out at all. So hopefully this video was helpful for those of you who asked. Definitely let me know your thoughts on the palette. If you have it, you picked it up, you like it, you dislike it, you're kind of like, eh, like I am. Let me know all that below in the comment section, and whatever else y'all want to tell me, because I say all the time, my channel would not work without you all. So I truly appreciate your feedback, and I appreciate your support. And until next time, bye YouTube.